Hello, it's Damaza Fox from Rockstar Priestess and welcome to Avalon Priestess TV. And today we're talking about what is the purpose of a modern day priestess and where exactly do they fit in the world. Now, when we think of priestesses and the archetypal priestess, we think of fancy ladies, right? We think of fancy women who are living in these absolutely magnificent temples doing sacred work that's almost far removed from everyday life of everyday people, right? When we think of people like the priestesses of Aphrodite, we think of temple dwellers, right? When we think of people like the priestesses of Avalon, we think of beautiful women dressed in blues and the misty colors of dawn, rising at sunrise to do prayers and concoct herbs and living away from everybody. And often when we think about what it means to be a priestess, we are affected by what it means to be a holy person in the other religions that we grew up with, particularly Christianity if you live in the West, but a lot of the other patriarchal religions also have traditions of holy men, usually, and women, who are holy because they are cloistered away from the rest of the world. If we think about the holy people we grew up knowing about, nuns and monks. Nuns and monks do not live in the regular world. Nuns and monks do not have to go and pick their kids up while managing to make food and figuring out how to have a job at the same time. Monks and nuns are not trying to make modern life work. They don't have to worry about broken down washing machines or getting enough petrol for the car or how your granny's doing in her assisted living. They don't have those kind of problems. I mean, maybe they do a bit, but they are specifically removed from the everyday world so they can better focus on the divine, which is very lovely. Which one of us wouldn't love to run away from real life for a while and go to the Isle of Avalon and just be doing ceremony, ritual, tending the herb gardens, mixing potions and singing songs at sunsets for the goddess? Beautiful. And the thing is, when you are doing spiritual practice in isolation, away from the chaos and the scatteredness of the everyday world, it's a bit easier, right? So the difficulty is feeling, okay, so we live in the modern world and there isn't a place for priestesses to go and just be priestesses and not connect with any of the rest of the world. There isn't a magical island for us to go to. There isn't a magnificent priestess manor where we can go and have people come visit us in our little divine rhythm of ceremony and prayer and meditation and dance and whatever we do in a fabulous priestess manner. Yeah. Priestesses are in the real world. So what is the purpose of a priestess in the real world? Well, the thing about priestesses is that we are embodiments of divine energy. Yeah. And that's one thing that makes us different to more regular mainstream traditions. As a priestess, we are acknowledging that we are also goddess as much as we honor and worship a goddess who is outside of us, in the luminous everything of the universe, and in the earth itself, in the trees, in this cute little clay figure, in all the things, yeah? So if we are in this knowledge that being a priestess is about being the embodiment of the divine, is about being the energy of the divine feminine present in the world, well, in that case, we need priestesses in every single supernormal situation, right? We need priestesses who work in supermarkets. We need priestesses who work in office blocks. We need priestesses who work in retirement homes. We need them everywhere. Because what priestesses do, in my opinion, is we spend all this time working with these arts of devotion, working with prayer, working with embodiment practices, working with our shadow, working with all these divine archetypes of the feminine so that we can become a better vessel for that divine feminine energy. Yeah. And when I say better vessel for the divine feminine energy, I don't mean suddenly we become like a perfect goddess version of Jesus and we're wonderful and we do nothing wrong and our energy is just so amazing and sublime and perfect that we can heal someone at 20 paces. That's not what I mean. I mean, our energy is just mixed a little bit with that flavor of the divine. And then that, through us, lives in the world. We bring that essence and we live it in the world. And for me, this is what I call a devotional priestess. In my brain, there are three kinds of priestesses. There are devotional priestesses who are working to connect with the goddess and learn the priestess arts and be an awesome spiritual being kind of for themselves. But the thing is, it's not just for yourself because it ripples out in the world. It affects how you interact with everyone and it shifts the energy of the world around you. However subtly, we need the energy to shift, even if it's subtle, right? So that's what a devotional priestess does. Working on our own spiritual path, working on our own energy, working on our own ability to go through life with grace rather than with fear and frustration and struggle. That changes the world. That's the work of a devotional priestess. And of course, we have the other two kinds of priestess in my vocabulary. We have the professional priestess who does like what you think of as regular fancy priestessy things, like does rituals, holds ceremonies for other people, holds circles for other people, does like healing-y stuff, all that professional witchy arts. And we have the stealth priestess, who is like a devotional priestess, but kind of very conscious about it. And the stealth priestess is someone who is holding that light of the goddess and calling her regular, very human, very everyday purpose, work, whatever it is you do, from being a mum to being a HR consultant to being a buyer at a fashion company, seeing that as their priestess practice and making that sacred. Yeah, secretly. Not everybody needs to know, and sometimes it's better that people don't know. Yeah, people get weird about what we do. So there are those three kinds of priestesses, and they all start with devotional priestess. And to be a priestess in the world today means to be that light of the feminine, to be that light of the goddess in the everyday, in all the mundane places, at the supermarket, in the queue at the post office, in all the normal places where traditionally you wouldn't think you'd find a priestess. That's where we need to be. The purpose of a modern day priestess is to bring that presence and energy to every single bit of the world, in the most boring, mundane places and in the most mundane ways. And a priestess fits in everywhere. Everywhere needs this energy of presence, of big, big love, of compassion, and of power. Yeah? We all need this. Everybody needs this. So in my opinion, that's where a priestess fits. And it's really important for the world to have more priestesses in very, very mundane places. And I created my Morgan Le Fay Mystery School to serve this purpose, to train really awesome secret priestesses who can be at work everywhere in the world, whether they're sound healers, whether they're tarot card readers, whether they're doctors, whether they're nurses, whether they are administrative assistants, so that you can learn the arts of a priestess and integrate them and embody them so you are living that. You're not just thinking about it. You're living the true values and ways that the divine feminine, and particularly Morgan Le Fay, our badass super queen of priestesses, holds dear. And just by stepping into that, we change our own lives. And just by stepping into that and allowing ourselves to be in our spiritual power, we create a ripple effect and change the lives of everyone around us. Yeah. So if you'd love to know more about Morgan Le Fay Mystery School and this particular powerful year of training, which is called Sister Sibling Year, registration opens every year at the end of October, and you can go to my website below to learn about it, get on the waiting list, or maybe sign up and join us for a powerful year of stepping into your priestess self. I'm sending you so much love. Let me know in the comments below what you really feel is true about priestesses from what I have said today. Sending you loads of love. Bye.